Any visitors or public comments?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any visitor comments? Michael?
Any visitors?
Anybody wants to speak?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Michael Hughes. I've talked to you guys before, and I wanted to talk about the Rocky Ledge water extension that the town is, the board of selectmen is suggesting that the whole town pay for. First of all, I have great empathy for the people there, and they're all good people, and I understand that it's a tough situation to have. But as a board of finance, you in the town, that has to be the checks and balances of spending in this town. I think we're up against it this year. A lot of increased taxes. We still don't know what the state's doing. We still have a deficit in the town. I've been looking into this and trying to find other ways. Now, the engineering solution, bringing water main is the right solution. Technically, much more economical than sewers. The consent decree that we got 20 years old, which is astounding that the town been having that problem for 20 years. Nowhere in that document, as it says, the whole town has to pay for it. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. But there should be a way to help the people. This seems to be a real bad year to try to help them out. I talked to the representatives, our state representative, and he suggested that the committee could reach out to him to see if there's other legislative things he could do. But we can call upon them to try to do some more. Now, in the regulations I got, I sent some emails to them and they sent back where it says the service supplied by water companies, section 161162. Now that document says, in the first paragraph, it says in case of class 1 utilities, which this is, the utility shall furnish and install, own and maintain at its expense all new service connections. And it goes on to say, provided the cost of the excavation, backgrounds, roof replacement, and paving, walkways and curbs necessary incurred in respect to new services shall be borne by the customer or other applicant services. So they do have some responsibility. So then I try to get the definition of that. The definition of that is as used in section 3 of that. So the service connections means the service pipe from the main to the curb stop. Okay? So it's crazy the way it's written. From the main to the curb stop. And then from the curb stop to the home, it clearly says that the owner is responsible for that. I tried to get some clarification on it, and they sent me, they referred me back to 161161, item 3, which is kind of interesting. It says, cost to be borne by patrons and developers under extension contracts shall be calculated on mains of the size required to service the customer, but shall not be calculated on mains larger than 8 inches in diameter, unless unusual certain customer requirements warrant a larger size main. So I called the engineers at the Connecticut Water Company, and I asked them who dictated, or who said that you had to have a 12-inch main going up 81 and 8 inches. They said they did. And I'm
Yes,
assuming,
They connected water.
yes, I'm assuming they went through the calculations or confirmed that with CDM Smith. Probably CDM Smith submitted them and they requested, but there is a 12-inch main they wanted to continue. But then this part here sort of contradicts that. So there must have been, I don't know if we talked about it or not. And then I asked them, can you have an option of putting high-density polypurethane pipe instead of duct liner? Because duct liner is more expensive to install. Okay. But no, he says that's their standard. So, okay. I said, well, there's a lot of utilities around the country that uses that. And he acknowledged that, but he said that's their standard. Because I asked, in one of the other meetings, I asked if that could be changed. The engineers had put duct liner. I said, okay, I got that answer. All right. That doesn't mean it can't be challenged. Okay, but, so, I know the first selectman meeting of the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, they recommended that the whole town pay for that. Because over 20 years, they kind of neglected supervising and enforcing the requirements there. Well, that's not the reason for everybody to pay for it. Again, the state decree doesn't say who has to pay for it. Okay, it just doesn't. I want to bring that to attention. I get it, my heart goes out. I have deep empathy for the people. They have a problem out there. I understand that. So I did some more checking with local communities around here. Again, I checked with the Public Commission, I checked with the Senate representative. And I told you what they suggested, he suggested. And I talked to the water company. I also talked to some local neighborhoods, towns, some high officials in Guilford. And they told me they had the same problem, 145 homes in another area in Guilford. And what they did was, they went to vote, but they didn't put it up so that the whole town had to pay for it. He says, there's no way people in North Guilford, the other parts of Guilford, was going to pay for the water main extension, the same thing that these people had in Guilford. They weren't going to do it. So those 145 people agreed to pay for it themselves, and that's the only choice they had. And they got all those loans that this town's talking about. And they're going to, their taxes of those homes that connect with the main are going to be assessed extra taxes over 20 years at a 2% loan to pay for it. And that's what the official told me. And it wasn't-
How did they know the other town?
Okay, hey.
Oh.
So I'm just saying that was the town official that I talked to in Guilford. High-ranking official, it wasn't formal.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Just a few more things,
No.
Chairman. if I
We
can-
got plenty of time.
No, you can go.
Just a few more.
Really?
Yes, few more. Got a lot of research, let's hear it.
In the local, a few other things I wanted to say was, the home values in Clinton, Lean Ravis put out the market overview for Clinton this past month in July. The median price is $251,000. It's down 6.8%. The inventory is low. And of all the homes on the shoreline, our value has gone down as the lowest, minus 1.89%. We continue to tax and tax. We got to bring more business into the neighborhood to get the tax base up. That's not going to help us. Somehow we have to stop spending, and I'm make a suggestion that we have CDM Smith. I don't think we need their services anymore. They did a lot of reports, a lot of engineering. I mean, if the project goes through when they put the pipe in, yeah, but they've spent a lot of money, done a lot of reports. We don't need to be hiring them anymore. Gotta start somewhere.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Other people might want to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to make a couple of comments if I may. Done?
Yes.
I want to comment on the consent decree as well. I don't know if anyone here has read it, but I have a copy I can leave behind. But there's nothing in this consent decree that suggests that we have to do anything other than investigate and try to come up with some solutions to issues. Now, one of the things that that they refer to in their discussions and their consent decree and there are a number of reports that were done by CDM Smith, and they talk in terms of the Fuss and O'Neill report, where where the consent decree refers to Fuss and O'Neill, and there are a number of reports and studies that were done several years ago, and let's see if we have them here, and the Fuss and O'Neill report from, and this part is from the CDM's original facilities plan back in 2002. You got the that particular report that they refer to with Fuss and O'Neill talks specifically with regard to issues on the Long Hill Road area in downtown and wanting to do a piping program to Hannah. There's no discussion with regard to the area. There's another part of the CDM Smith report on which states, this is page 229 of their 2002 reports, 2.44 study, which basically states area 4, 5, and 6. 5 happens to be Rocky Ledge. In that report, CDM's report from 2002, it goes on to read that study areas 4, 5, and 6 scored the lowest in the prioritization of study areas, which represents a level of need somewhat less than that of the other study areas. In general, these 3 areas had significantly lower percentages of frequent pump outs, failures, and repairs than did other areas. Okay? Well, there were lots within these areas that were less than 8,000 square feet. The report goes on to state that these lots appear to be more evenly dispersed throughout the area, thereby lessening their impact on the environment. Study areas 4, 5, and 6 are not recommended for a structural solution at this time because these areas generally show less frequent problems than other areas. Why are we dealing with this? On top of that, they talk about a number of studies that they have done. They did a study, one of their studies, 31 houses out of 120. If you look at the study that they did with 31 houses out of 120, there's perhaps 2 or 3 on 31. And who knows what that would have been out of 120. You don't even, they haven't even done an adequate study of that entire area to determine. And the individuals don't even know what's going on in their own areas. They don't know if they have problems or not. You've got one that was done on 13 Happy Acres. You know, where they suggest that coliform was present, E. coli absent. And then there was they did some bacterial retest and suggesting that coliform was still present and that the E. coli was absent. Call from the lab, call the owner. There's no discussion with regard to that. There's another one where they got something where coliform was present. They did a bacterial retest, absent, no call. And you got information on out of 31 houses, 31 homes that they suggested that they had to go look at. There's nothing there for information. You take a look at their file report. The file report is nothing more than them taking a look at their files and seeing what was the history of those particular homes. And there's nothing there.
the reports are inadequate. You cannot even go forward with the idea of trying to do something at Rocky Ledge without the homeowners. And by the way, they want to sell an idea to the homeowners. That's why, if you look at YouTube, and you see the first selectman, when they decided to go forward with this program, that one of those members of the Board of Selectmen suggested that the entire town pays for it. We can sell them, the owners of those homes, on the idea of hooking up, because we're going to pay for it. They don't even know if they have a problem. So why are we even dealing with this at this stage without having some adequate studies done first?
Hey, can you wrap it up?
You know what, there's more, but for the sake of time, I'll leave it at that. And if you have any questions, you're more than happy to answer them, and there's additional information available as well in the various CDM reports, basically.
And also WPCC respond, we'll get that item on the agenda. Anybody else?
Apologies for interrupting, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I did, but I'm not sure. So I think the people that have spoken thus far demonstrate a pretty good understanding of the problem. They've done a lot of analytical work, and I respect that, and I'm not going to get into those aspects of it. I'm going to get into the aspect of, a few months ago, we had a very, very difficult budget process review. Went through iterations, and the townspeople were very actively involved and very interested in the budget, in the bonding budget, in the school budget, and in the town budget. And I don't understand all the aspects of the statutes and the laws on how you can authorize additional spending, but morally, you are now authorizing a bond above and beyond what was presented to the homeowners in the last budget process, which wasn't that long ago. And I don't really understand how you're going to do that and put a burden on the taxpayers without asking the taxpayers for their opinion and for their view and for their vote on alternatives. And I think that's something that you should be doing morally, and I don't know whether it's legal, whether you should be legally doing it, but you are putting a burden, additional burden outside the budget process on the taxpayers by authorizing another bond that the homeowners have not approved. And I don't think that's the appropriate way to do it.
Thank you, sir. So, is that it? Anybody else? You all set? Okay, thank you.
If anybody has documentation, any of the speakers, that they want incorporated
Into the minutes, they can,
into the minutes, please submit them.
to Mary.
I do have this.
Okay, appropriation of bond authorization, $5,150,000. That is, you can respond to the area comments.
Sure. Are there specific ones, Jack, that
If
you'd
you
like?
want to respond to it, earlier comments, you can respond right now.
Yeah, I'd like to, and I also have our engineer, Christy Wagner, with us tonight, and I'd like to call on her to address a couple of the technical issues. But in general, I just wanted to respond to the folks who came to speak out tonight and say that we were talking about an older group of research here. That stuff has been incorporated into the work we're doing now and has been improved upon. So these older facilities plans excerpts don't really stand by alone by themselves anymore. So what I think we're looking at here is a unique piece of a big puzzle. And the one that makes this one a higher, we could say a higher priority, and the reason it's coming before the town now is a couple of things. And one is that it's a unique risk because we have septic and wells, as you guys all know, and we also have an opportunity to get funding through the State Department of Health, Lawrence Sloan, as was discussed earlier. That funding is not guaranteed into the future. We've shown good faith, which has allowed us to, extend the ability to obtain that funding to this point. And I feel that as a WPCC, we've worked with the town Board of Selectmen and Public Works have asked us to, present the best plan that we could, and we presented the best plan. And we would just like to, have you folks ask your questions and hopefully get this thing to a town vote for town can ask questions and make their decision on whether or not they think it's a good direction. As far as some of the specific engineering questions, I can turn that over to Christie.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out. Your timing could have been worse to come before us.
That's pretty rough, huh? Yeah.
We do not have a state budget. We will not have a state budget until probably the end of September.
Yeah.
But one question, and it was brought up by several members of the audience, about the town paying for all. What's this benefit system on what cost, which is at the end of your audit committee?
Okay, you have
This says May 25th, 2007, revised draft. Obviously, it's a benefit assessment given the value of the house I'm taking, right? And so how much of it is that going to cost? What are they going to be paying?
There's a couple different ways we looked at doing this project. We had looked at a cost sharing between the people who would be getting the water and the town. We felt pretty strongly as a group that this was the town's responsibility, and that this project would be funded by the town. But we also felt that it would be reasonable for us to take a look and see, can we accomplish the goal? And the goal is to get everyone connected, because that's what we need to do in order to satisfy the negotiation we have with DEP. Can we accomplish that goal by having the homeowner pay for, what portion? And the idea, Jack and folks, was to originally, we look at, how about the town pays 100% of the project? How about the town pays for all the project except for the on-lot costs? And most folks on the WPCC felt that that was the most equitable way, because we looked at, how much money could be afforded based on the value of the homes, and the way that the water company would typically handle this if this was a typical project. And we looked at those numbers and came up with on-lot costs with Department of Public Works of approximately an average of $11,000.
Right.
Where it ended up going from there was our meeting with the Board of Selectmen. When we met with the Board of Selectmen, the conversation was, we supplied them with the same information that you have, and the conversation turned on, will the project meet the goal if you can't get the votes? If you go up there and you can't get enough people to sign contracts with the Connecticut Water Company, will we be able to meet the goal that the town is in a consent order to meet? And the Board of Selectmen felt that the best way to handle it was to have the town pay for the entire project, and then that would get people to sign up and would accomplish the goals. What we have there is more than just the town financing a water line, which the town, there is a precedent for that, for the town to come in and run water lines. There was another one here in town. It's been questioned on whether or not there's a precedent. There is. But it was more of addressing this public health concern. And the public health concern is different than what was described by some of the folks who came before you tonight. And if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like Christie to just clear up the numbers.
pH level, chloride level.
Could I just
It's a
ask,
handful of overlapping things.
could you be specific about the precedent?
There's
The Beach Road area water main extension, which
What
was
road?
Beach Road area, so out on the eastern end of Route 1, the north side, there's Beach Road and a couple of surrounding streets. That was, I think it was around 1988 or 1989. 86, okay. The town paid for, the town tax base paid for the majority of that, and that was not a specific consent order related problem, but it was, similar in that it was a public health concern out there. So Carol was able to dig through records and confirm that the town paid for the majority of, I don't remember what the percentage was, but it was the majority of that project.
Just
And how much was
clarification.
that project? How much was that project?
I think it was like 80% of the project.
Somewhere between 60 and 80, I don't remember the exact number.
How much money?
Oh, I would have to go check the records. I don't have that.
Well, you looked at the records, you must know.
Okay.
Did we pay for
I
the
didn't know I
hookup?
was gonna be quizzed.
I don't think anyone can find records that have that level of detail about what was really included, honestly. We know that there are some people who did not hook up, and DEP is not
So,
happy
if they
about
didn't
it, but
hook up, we
it's
didn't
a
pay
different. And it's also, it's, that was 30 years ago at this point.
But if somebody didn't hook up, it's
Mhm.
obviously that we didn't pay for it, otherwise, why would I turn down again?
I don't know. I think it's history that's not detailed as well
So
as
you
we would
get free
like.
water instead of paying a private customer for water.
Okay, go ahead and,
If I could just very quickly,
go ahead.
just for the record, just to correct some things that were said earlier, the 2002 era reports that were referenced, those were preliminary draft reports. They were partially approved by DEP, and DEP basically at that point said we need more information to continue to approve a plan that's workable. As everyone here knows, the project kind of stalled for quite a long time. We have a current 2016 version and now 2017 version into DEP for formal approval. I have a lot of email correspondence with them, and I expect their formal conceptual approval literally in the next few weeks at this point in time. But that included detailed analysis, neighborhood by neighborhood, for all of the study areas. Rocky Ledge was one of them. One of the things that was done in Rocky Ledge was water testing. Of the 122 properties in Rocky Ledge, and this information is in the packet that was provided to you earlier, 48 properties agreed to have their water tested voluntarily. Of those 48, 70% of the sample set had documented water quality violations. So coliform bacteria, elevated nitrates, or lower than regulated pH. So the statement that the water quality concerns are not documented has been very clearly refuted otherwise.
pH is not a health issue, it's just the hardness of the water.
Actually, DPH has a standard for it, 6.4, less than 6.4. There is a Department of Public Health standard for it.
So it was higher than 6.4?
Lower than 6.4.
What is the cost of this project?
It's in the range of $5 million. That's the estimate, including the water main construction, the service connections, the technical oversight, and bonding and financing costs.
And some other technical pieces that we need to accomplish, such as the bin as well as.
Are we to assume we're not getting a $4.9 million loan from the state?
Nope, we are on the state drinking water state revolving funds list for $5 million. Off of that will come any other money that comes in. The Connecticut Water Company has pledged a certain amount, but that amount is still being negotiated.
Why are we going out to bond $5.1 million?
I think he can probably answer that better, but I believe the town has to appropriate the entire amount, but you don't necessarily have to take a loan for the entire amount.
If we're taking a loan as a town, we're a guarantor against the loan.
You don't-
Still have to appropriate the money.
Right. You don't actually have to
Can't
take
take
the
a
loan.
loan without it being appropriated. So you gotta appropriate $5.whatever million it is, whether you're borrowing it, whether you're bonding it, or if you have cash in the bank, you still have to appropriate the money through the town meeting process. So it's like everything else, well, we went like the bridge, 80% paid by the federal government, 20% by the town. We had to appropriate the entire amount. And then it's subject to, change whatever income you get.
Yeah, but there was no loan on the bridge.
Sure, it doesn't make any difference as long, you still have to appropriate the money,
Well, why?
because you're borrowing the money from the state. There's
But
not-
we're a guarantor.
So what you're saying, all right, so.
And its full credit stands behind the loan.
Stop yelling. So what you're saying is we can just go out and do the project and borrow the money without going anywhere?
No, you have to get the 4.9 approved by us and the
That's
taxpayers.
what we're saying.
No, no, you're asking for a bond appropriation, not for the loan
We're
appropriation.
asking what town council is aware of what the language was and what was gonna be done, and that's town bond council's language.
I want to see the opinion of council then.
All right,
Even a written opinion of council, not from his word of mouth.
Stop yelling.
Okay. Hey, I have to ask one question. Michael Hughes brought this up earlier. Utility, the class 1 utility. Michael Hughes brought this, said the utility shall permanently install, own, and maintain, and expense all new service connections. My question is, why are we gonna, we're reading this right up in May, we're owning it for a couple of years, shouldn't the utility be putting it in? This is the state statute, I'm curious.
I believe, and I'm not an expert at the state statute, but I believe that that statute is intended for when a water company wants to expand their service area for their benefit. In this case, this is the town stepping in and saying that the town thinks it's important to do it for public health reasons. I don't believe that the statute is written for that purpose.
It doesn't say that.
That's-
Read the document. If you want to interpret it.
Well, I think that if you could research that, I'd really appreciate that.
I mean, that's not.
And also, you said this. So what you're saying today was 3 million in February of 2016. Then it went up to 4.9 million. Then we had another 200,000 on because of insurance. Wouldn't the contractor doing the blasting be responsible for the insurance?
Yes, but you pay for it. When you go out and you require a bond, a construction bond, insurance, that's part of your mobilization costs, so they just bill you for that information.
I think that
But the insurance is different. I think
the initial delta, the 3.6 to the 4.9, that was the addition of the private property work to the project, which was not included in the initial estimate. And then the recent addition was added by the Board of Selectmen to cover the bonding, like the town costs for legal and loan closing. So that, and it might not be that 250,000, but that was the number.
It's not open to the public.
By the way, I agree.
He's public or not?
No. By the way, I agree that this is the only way to fix the problem in that area. But the timing couldn't be worse. I understand where the people are coming from. We've got a gap in the budget, which we're going to cover in the next item. It's really a couple item. And we're going out for more bonding. I understand where they're coming from. But I understand also this is the only way to fix the problem.
The only thing that I'll add to that, and again, this is not, I'm the outsider here, I understand that, but we received approval from the state DPH for the SRF loan for fiscal year 16-17. The town did not approve the project in that time frame. The state agreed to roll over the project to 17-18 with an explanation from the town as to why it was not approved prior. I do not know if they will roll it over again. And also the town applied for a STEEP grant, the Small Town Economic Assistance Program grant for this year, which, I don't know if it will come to fruition or not, but that's also in the works for this year.
Okay, give me 1 second.
So,
I just want to make sure that...
No, we can't.
There was a question raised before, and it was not answered in the discussion.
What's the question? Technically, we're only talking to Matt.
And it was raised to them that there was different ways in which this was handled in Guilford and other towns. I would like an answer to that.
Your question.
I'm aware that Guilford is in the early stages of a project like this. I do not know how Guilford is planning to pay for it.
And then 87% of the people approved it. It's being financed by just the people in the area. My question
I
is,
know that Guilford does not have a consent order, I know that. That's one piece of this, is that Guilford does not have a consent order.
I'm going to make a motion to table this until we have more information on what the state is going to do to our budget.
I'll second.
okay, any further discussion?
Yes, I'd like to just comment that in many towns in Connecticut, there's public water. We have a private profit-making water company who will sell every ounce of water that comes through the piping that all the taxpayers are paying for. I understand the science and the solution here, but I absolutely cannot accept that the Board of Selectmen have given us one option to pay for it. And that option is so limited in its scope that I can't support at this time that expenditure the way it's presented, that 100% is paid by taxpayers.
Okay, the motion on the table is seconded. You can discuss any motion.
Yeah, but only by those who are receiving.
Yeah, you can discuss any motion. Go ahead.
He can't, he's not
Oh, you don't
seeing.
see it. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor for the tabling of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? That's 6-0.
I'm sorry. I just want to let you know that unless you have a special meeting, we won't get the question to the town clerk in time to make the election
Right.
ballot.
Just table it.
Yep.
Yeah, just on that, I had asked a question, so I knew that In fact, I don't even know if we can take it off the table. It's
Yeah.
gonna start from the Board of Selectmen again, I guess, right? I would think.
We'll research that.
I asked that.
But, Matt, thank you for your
Yes,
time.
I don't know.
Thank you.
He doesn't